Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of La Communauté presented by Jean-Louis. We're live from Studio Central. Today, we're going to plunge you into the heart of a troubling affair that has been shaking Congo-Brazzaville for several years. Opaque agreements between Congo and Rwanda have been suspected, bringing to light complex political and economic maneuvers with potentially serious consequences for the sovereignty and territorial preserve Congo's land. At the heart of this affair is Crystal Sassou Nguesso, a key figure, Congolese government apparatus and son of the president. Speculation and rumors have surrounded the secret agreements, concealed by Crystal Sassou until the truth came to light. Rwandan television recently announced the occupation of part of Congolese territory for agricultural activities, shedding light Rwanda's expansionist intentions in the region. Increased Rwandan airline rotations to Congo-Brazzaville raise questions about the real motives behind these agreements and Crystal Sassou's involvement in this affair. There are many issues at stake, from the personal protection of Crystal Sassou, to the question of overpopulation in Rwanda, to the economic and political interests at stake. Why were these agreements not been revealed to the general public and officially adopted by the Congolese government? What's behind is, and what could be the consequences for Congo-Brazzaville? Be the consequences for Congo-Brazzaville and its people. Stay with us, dear friends, with us as we explore the many facets of this complex affair and its far-reaching implications for Congo-Brazzaville and beyond. This was Community Radio Editorial presented by Jean Lewis. As I said in my introduction, this case is resurfacing. I remind you that we are here on the Community News with Jean-Didier Deckous from France and Georges Tsiba, both commentators here, or rather contributors to Community Radio. So we're back to the business of selling, transferring or granting land in the Nyari, Kwilu, and Pool to the Rwandans. So why, Dr. Deckous, is this affair resurfacing? It's an affair that's perhaps been forgotten. We didn't talk about it anymore, but it's come up again on Rwandan television, which shows us that Rwandans have made a trip to Brazzaville, have certainly finalized the agreement signed with the Congolese government. And the proof is there, since the framework we discussed at the office's corridors. A framework agreement is circulating, signed by Crystal Sassou, son of Denis Sassou Nguesso, on this possible contract we're talking about, which remains opaque to this day. Jean-Didier Deckous, why is this matter resurfacing?
Listen, John Lewis, thank you for the invitation and thank you for the question. We were already talking about it when Crystal Sassou went to sign that agreement in Kigali. We thought it was all in fun, but now we're on to something real. It has to be said that when the war broke out, the Rwandan genocide, nearly 8,000 Rwandans settled in the Congo. The ACR, given that Rwanda has now become a country where there is no longer any war, has asked the Congolese government to send these Rwandans back home to Rwanda. These Rwandans never returned to Rwanda. They are still in the Congo. And that's what we gave to Congolese society. Now, Nguesso, in his bid to live in peace and let his son succeed him, is no longer counting on his tribe either, since the Mboshi people don't want Christelle, who isn't, and his mother, who is of Zarian origin, and his father, who is of Beninese origin. But what does he do? He's doing what his father did, to to come to power. His father needed the Angolans, the Rwandans, and all the rest. So they signed agreements saying they were going to give the land. Well, we're sure. No, the Rwandans aren't just coming to exploit the land. They're also coming to be there when the war for power starts. The Rwandans there will be on the side of, will be armed by, let's call it Sassou Crystal's son, to be able to protect him so that he can be present. It's not just about the land. There's also the story of the future president of the Congo, Sassou Crystal. Since Sassou Nguesso will never agree to leave or to create, let's call it a moment that we go to the polls, to the ballot box democratically. So I think that today, the Congolese people, the people of southern Congo, must use all possible means to prevent the Rwandans from coming to our country. We have the curatorial advantage.
Yes, you've almost picked it up already. A panoramic view of this debate. I'll get back to you later. So let me turn to Georgia Siba. Georgia, I won't come back to this. Well, I don't know if you're going to answer the same question. How did this case come back like that and get thrown on by both governments and which is broadcast on TV Rwanda? Is it an affair arranged between the Congolese government to say, come on, set it off over there, we can't do it here?
But then what's interesting is the statement of the question. Rest? That is to say, up until now there have been maneuvers. Cache. So the culture of Risen, watch out, they're coming to do agriculture, and we've realized that there's no farmers. Could we make an industry out of farmers? It's not an industry. It's a installation. It's a pretextual pretext. In other words, when I say return of the repressed, what does it evoke? It evokes something that was of secrecy. So what generates secrecy? Secrecy generates two phenomena that I often refer to. There's what we call fear.